Good afternoon. We do like to have these press conferences because we want to make sure that monthly we're getting in front of the camera, in front of the public, to let them know how we're doing, where we're going, and some of our plans moving forward in the future. And also to open it up for any questioning when we complete with the statement that we want to open with. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And I want to give you information that I want to pass on, that I want the public to know, and that I want everybody to be aware of. And also to talk about some things that have been disturbing me, and I want to get out there. On the front of where we are and what we're doing, over the past 28 days, the Montgomery Police Department has responded to 13,525 calls for service. This number reflects not only the volume of the need in our community, but also the unwavering commitment of our officers to serve and protect every resident of this city. Since October 15th, our officers have made 531 arrests. Since November 1st, we have issued more than 1,000 traffic citations. Among those 531 arrests, 59 individuals have been charged in relation to 116 felony cases. Each case closed. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent our proactive efforts to maintain order and ensure public safety. They maintain our practice and they show our ability to hold individuals accountable for their actions. Included in those 531 arrests, 6 individuals have been charged in connection with homicides. These are serious crimes that have deeply affected families and neighborhoods across Montgomery. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the victims and their loved ones. We see your pain. We are committed to seeking justice on your and their behalf. I want people to know that all of this is possible because of that hard work of the men and women of our department, the men and women of our patrol division, the men and women of our CID division, the men and women of every division working together to make these types of outcomes take place. We are never going to stop in our fight to keep people accountable and hold them accountable for their actions, no matter how old the case and no matter where it took place. I'm going to give some details on these homicide arrests. We arrested Kenneth Dixon. He was charged with murder in the death of Reginald McCrae that had taken place on February 15th of 2025 in the 100 block of Nottingham Court. We have charged a juvenile male with 2 counts of capital murder in relation to the death of Diamond Moore that had taken place on June 20th in the 5,000 block of Greensboro Court. Our officers have arrested LaQuinton Smith for murder and attempted murder in the death of Eric Major that had taken place on July 16th in the 2200 block of East 6th Street. Kenyatta Johnson Sr. was charged with murder in the death of Kentaris Couch, which had taken place on August 4th in the 900 block of Charles Street. CID investigators, police officers arrested Curtavious Davis and charged him with capital murder in the death of Tamiko Coleman that had taken place on September 20th in the 4600 block of Virginia Loop Road. And in relation to the October 4th incident, our most recent arrest, Kiamonte Hood, who was charged with capital murder, 9 counts of assault first degree, and 3 counts of assault second degree in connection with that mass shooting that claimed the lives of Jeremiah Morris and Shalonda Williams. In addition to those cases, I'm going to address the 3 most recent homicides that we're working because on Friday, November 21st at approximately 12:06 a.m., our officers responded to the 4600 block of Mobile Highway, where they found Kashabe Perkins Jr., age 19, suffering from a life-threatening gunshot wound. He was transported to a local hospital where, sadly, he passed away. A juvenile male and an adult female were also injured in that incident. Now, we did recover some firearms in it, and we're going to be doing all of our due diligence in solving that case. On Monday, November 17th at 6:20 p.m., officers responded to the 100 block of Cortlandt Drive, where they discovered Zachary Hooks, age 25, deceased from a gunshot wound. And on Friday, November 14th at 4:46 p.m., we responded to the 3500 block of Fairground Road, where we found 15-year-old Tyrell Foster fatally wounded, and he died of his injuries. Each one of these homicides, whether we have solved them or whether we are working on them, both myself and my officers take personally. We do not stop. We do not pause. We do not rest until we get the folks responsible and put them in jail and charge them and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. I want to make sure that people are aware of that. The tragedies are heartbreaking, and to the families of Kashabe, Zachary, and Tyrell, we grieve with you. We remember, and we will hold those responsible accountable. We have strong leads in those cases, and I am very confident that we are going to solve them. So I want people to be aware just not only where our hearts are, but where our efforts lie. Now, we do have things going forward as well. We're going into the holiday season. And as we do that, folks are going to notice that we are increasing our patrols in and around shopping centers all over the city. We're also organizing dedicated security details for various events that are going to be coming up for the holidays. For example, we're going to be working with Alabama State University Police Department in relation to the Turkey Day Parade. That's going to be happening right downtown in a few days. We're proud to partner with them. In fact, we want to ensure that everybody has a safe and welcoming environment for citizens and visitors to this city. But there's one issue that is really on my mind and I want to bring forward. It's something that I've been talking to a lot of people about, and it's one that I've been getting a lot of feedback from the public about, and it impacts gun violence in a very significant way. It literally affects every law enforcement officer and every citizen in the state of Alabama. Under the current constitutional carry law, individuals are not required to carry legal identification when concealing a weapon. This creates a dangerous loophole. It prevents officers from being able to legally verify who is lawfully carrying a firearm. This loophole prevents officers from being able to fully use the Persons Forbidden database in a proactive way to hold violators accountable. It puts the public at risk. It puts officers at risk. And it undermines the very foundation of responsible gun ownership. I believe in the right to bear arms. I'm not here to debate that. But we are here to demand that those rights come with responsibility and accountability. When officers cannot confirm identity, it makes it harder for them to protect the community in the most effective manner possible. That is a risk we cannot afford. I urge every citizen to have tough conversations. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your legislators, talk to your judges. Ask them what they're doing to make our communities safer. Because when it comes time to vote, the people in this state and in this community need to vote like lives depend on it, because they do. To the people of Montgomery, your police department is here for you. We are working every day to make our streets safer, our neighborhoods stronger, our city more united. We are here for you, all of us, and I don't want anyone to ever forget that. I'd say God bless Montgomery and God bless the great state of Alabama, and I will open it up for questions. Yes, sir.
When it comes to the constitutional carry and any potential change in the law, is there a particular legislature or legislators that you're working with?
I've been talking with multiple legislators in relation to drafting some type of bill related to it. See, my conflict is not with the idea of constitutional carry. My conflict is with an idea that doesn't allow us to identify the person who's carrying the weapon. If a person is trying to conceal their identity by purposely not carrying an ID when they're carrying a gun, and they're purposely trying to conceal that weapon, then you know they're up to no good. A law-abiding person is not trying to hide who they are at the same time as hide a weapon. So I believe people should be held accountable for that.
Chief, how often would you say that law affects a case or something you're investigating?
That loophole, because the law itself by itself is not the problem. The problem is going to be that loophole because there's no accountability on identification. And it affects us every day. We recently had a case where we had 3 folks walking down the street carrying guns concealed in their pockets. And only one of them we were able to take to jail. The other 2, we took their guns, but we had to send them on their way. Now, who knows what they were going to do afterwards? Being a requirement to carry a weapon to have a legal ID is imperative to us enforcing the law. It's imperative to us being able to use that database that allows us to determine if somebody is, let's say, on probation or on parole. Because if you don't have that ID, then when you're talking to that person, how do you know that they are who they say they are or that they're the right age that they're claiming to be? When we find a juvenile, somebody underage carrying a weapon, we do charge them, with being in violation of carrying because they're not, they're a certain person forbidden. But what's to stop, let's say, a 17-year-old from saying, hey, I'm 24 years old, and they don't have a license? I mean, to be able to really use that database for a practical way for the officers on the street, they need to have a law that allows them to say, show me your license if you're going to be carrying this weapon concealed.
Can you clarify what the current law is as far as stop and identify? My understanding is you have to give your name, but you don't necessarily have to show an ID unless you're driving or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, you could say you have to give your name, but how do you confirm that they're giving you the right name? If I know that I have 6 warrants for my arrest and the police stop me, 1, I'm not going to be carrying my license so they can confirm it, and 2, I'm not going to give them my real name. It's common sense. A person who wants to carry a weapon in this state should be required to carry proper identification when they're doing it. That way law enforcement across the state can actually say, hey, this person is either on that list, which means I can hold them accountable, or hey, yeah, this is John Q. Citizen, and have a nice day, sir. What I'm proposing or asking to be filled in this loophole does not have any impact on a law-abiding gun owner in any way, shape, or form. But it does have an impact on the criminals who don't want us to know who they are and who want to walk around the street at 2 a.m. carrying weapons. If you're looking out your front window at 3 a.m. and you see somebody walking down your neighborhood street with an AR rifle, how safe are you going to feel? An ID requirement, I think, is essential to helping police officers be proactive in making arrests. Are there any other questions?
Chief O'Leary recently announced they have expanded or created a new unit called Zero to go on I-65, 85, also expanded their Capitol Police Unit. Just talk about what you've seen from state law enforcement, how much is it helping?
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of state law enforcement because they have always been a wonderful partner with us. I've always enjoyed working with not only their officers but their agents as well. So I just appreciate it. I mean, the more is better because the fact of the matter is I just read off to you some very impressive numbers of what we've been doing. And I saw their numbers and they look good as well. So that means that you have even that much more proactive law enforcement going on in our city, which makes things safer for everybody. So I am very pleased with it, and I look forward to working with them in the future and continuing to work with them. Are there any other questions? Well, good. That concludes y'all have a great day.